Some stories are not just lessons, they are mirrors that show us what the heart is capable of when it trusts its creator. This is one such story, a teaching attributed to Ibn Arabi, carried through generations as a secret of provision and certainty. Ibn Arabi once said that every blessing has a door and every door has a key, but the key is not in the world. It is in the heart of the seeker. One day, a young man came to him burdened with worry, saying he had spent years trying to buy a home for his family. But every time he saved, something took it away. Ibn Arabi listened quietly, then told him the secret that he claimed had opened countless doors in his own life. He said, "A house is not bought with money, it is bought with certainty. When your certainty is weak, your provision becomes weak." Then he taught him a method practiced by the people of deep knowledge: to wake before dawn, sit facing the Qibla, and recite Ya Wahhab exactly 111 times. Then make dua as if the house were already his. He told him to imagine the walls, the roof, the rooms, the laughter inside. "You must thank Allah for what you do not yet see," he said, "because gratitude pulls hidden blessings toward you." He also instructed him to give a small charity every Friday. "Even a single coin," he said, "is the seed from which houses grow." The man followed this method without missing a single dawn. Within 40 days, a relative he had not heard from in years returned and offered him a partnership that doubled his income. Within months, he was able to buy a home more beautiful than the one he had imagined. When he returned to Ibn Arabi in tears, thanking him, the master smiled and said, "I did nothing. You opened the door yourself." For Allah gives to the one who asks with certainty, walks with patience, and thanks before receiving. And from that time on, people whispered that whoever follows this method with sincerity finds doors opening where there were none. He said that when a believer feels the weight of not having a home, it is never just the absence of walls. It is the soul longing for stability, for a place where prayers can settle and hearts can breathe. Ibn Arabi taught a method for this, a way not to chase a house, but to draw the house toward you by aligning your inner state with the provision Allah has already written. He told his students that before any bricks appear, a person must first build a space inside the heart where gratitude can live. A house of stone, he said, is given to the one who first builds a house of remembrance. He explained the method simply: wake before dawn, sit where the world is quiet, place your right hand over your heart and recite Ya Wahhab, Ya Razak, Ya Fatah, the giver, the provider, the opener, until your chest softens. Not fast, not like a formula, but slowly, like someone knocking gently on the door of the unseen. After each recitation, imagine the door opening a little more. Ibn Arabi insisted that a believer must never focus on how the house will come through work, opportunity, or miracle. That is Allah's domain. The believer's work is different: to clean the heart from fear and fill it with certainty. He said, "If you want shelter in this world, then first let Allah shelter your heart." Each morning after the recitation, the seeker was to whisper a simple prayer: "O Allah, place my feet where security lives." Then go about the day calmly, not chasing, not begging, but trusting. Ibn Arabi taught that the one who walks with certainty walks with provision beside him like a shadow. He told his students that within 40 days, life begins to shift, not always loudly. Sometimes a path opens, sometimes a person appears, sometimes an opportunity quietly steps forward. Provision moves toward the one who stops running from fear, he said, and a house built by Allah arrives with doors already open. He made it clear that this method was never about wealth, land, or stone buildings. It was about aligning the heart with the source of provision itself. He told his student, "If you want a home in this world, begin by building a home for Allah inside your chest." He continued, "There is a secret prayer, a hidden method that opens the gates of ownership, stability, and shelter, but only for the one whose intention is pure." He taught him to start every dawn with 2 rakahs of gratitude, even if he felt he had nothing. Because gratitude, Ibn Arabi said, is the foundation on which Allah builds blessings. Then he instructed him to recite Ya Fatah, Ya Razak, Ya Wahhab 111 times after Fajr, each name like a key. Ya Fatah to open what is locked. Ya Razak to call the provision written for him. Ya Wahhab to receive what cannot be earned, only gifted. Do this for 40 days, Ibn Arabi said, and watch how the world rearranges itself for you. The student followed the method exactly. On many mornings he had doubts, but he still prayed. On many evenings he felt lost, but he still recited. And on the 28th day, a man he barely knew approached him with an opportunity, a home being sold for far less than its worth. It felt impossible, yet every step opened smoothly, naturally, effortlessly, as if the world had been waiting for him. When he returned to Ibn Arabi in disbelief, saying, "Master, how can this happen so suddenly?" Ibn Arabi smiled and answered, "Nothing happened suddenly. Doors that opened today were being unlocked from the unseen the moment you began to trust." Months later, when the man felt hopeless again, he recalled another teaching of Ibn Arabi. If you wish to buy a house, do not begin with money. Begin with the one who owns all doors, all walls, all roofs, all land. Ibn Arabi taught the dua of Prophet Musa when he had no home, no support, and no future. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin fakir. My Lord, I am in desperate need of any good you send down to me. He began reciting it daily, before sleep, after Fajr, in the pauses of his day. Slowly, things began to move. An old friend called, a job reappeared, a forgotten debt was forgiven, a relative offered help, a property dropped drastically in price. This was not coincidence, it was divine orchestration. Because Ibn Arabi had said, when you recite this dua sincerely, Allah does not give you a house. He rearranges the universe until the house finds you. And when the man finally stood before the small home with the blue door, the one he had always dreamed of, everything aligned effortlessly. The financing, the paperwork, the timing. It was as if the house had been waiting for him. On the first night inside, he whispered the same dua again, this time with tears of gratitude. For now, he understood Ibn Arabi's secret. You do not chase the blessing. You chase the one who gives the blessing. And when your heart aligns with him, everything you long for begins to walk toward you. Ibn Arabi taught, the one who trusts Allah does not chase what is meant for him. He simply walks toward it, and it meets him halfway. From that day forward, whenever someone asked how he achieved it, he never spoke of money or luck. He simply said, I used the method Ibn Arabi taught. I trusted Allah, and the house came to me. This is not a story of wealth, but of certainty, a reminder that Allah's doors open for the hearts that stand before him with trust. May every seeker who reads this find the home written for them in this world and the next.